It's a work day and you've pushed that snooze button just a few too many times. You finally jump out of bed, rush into the shower, hop out, throw some clothes on, and on the way out the door you grab a bagel. But as soon as you take that first step outside, that cold winter air hits your face and your wet hair. It's at that point, as you make your way to your car, that you remember that old wives' tale that your mother used to always preach every time you went out the door with wet hair. That if you go outside in the cold with wet hair, you're going to catch the flu. Now, fortunately for us, this has been dispelled in numerous ways, and that's what I'd like to talk about today. Now, the first reason that we can, fortunately, ignore our mother's advice is that it is not actually the weather or the condition of our hair that causes disease. It's actually the virus. Many researchers, including Stephanie Watson from Discovery Fit and Health, have talked about this when they explain that it's actually the virus that causes the disease of the cold or the flu and produces those symptoms. It's not any external issues like our hair or the weather. So it's our body taking in this virus and our immune system reacting to it that causes those symptoms of a cold or a flu. They've conducted studies where two groups of people were both injected or had inhaled the virus, and then one was kept in a dry room and one was kept in a cold, wet room. And the results were about the same. About the exact same number of people contracted the illness. Now, another reason people misconstrue the idea of the winter and the cold weather being a reason people get sick is because that's predominantly when people do get sick. But however, Claudia Hammond from the BBC brings us to an alternative reason as to why that might be the case. When we think about what people do when it does become inclement weather or cold or rainy, we see that most people stay indoors. They kind of coop themselves up with other people until the weather gets better. Now this is fine unless one of those people is already sick. And that's where we can see that the majority of the transmissions occur, is that during cold weather, people tend to stay indoors with other people. It increases the chances of infection, and with the increase of germs and the proximity to them, you see that actually maybe going outside with that wet hair is a safer or a better way to stay healthy than it is to stay inside and dry. So, although your mother's advice should usually always be listened to, we can see that as we head out the door in the morning, the condition of our hair really doesn't matter. And just this once, we can ignore our mother's advice. That wet hair will not give you a cold or the flu. Thank you.